You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, folks. Blake Neff, a writer for Fox News Tucker Carlson show, was fired when it was reported that the top writer for the program had posted racist, sexist, and homophobic remarks on AutoAdmit, a website that traffics in hateful commentary. Now, here you see some of his most recent posts. Neff worked on the show for more than 3 years. In a segment on the show, and first of all, y'all go ahead and pull up some of the posts, please. There you go, okay? So just this week, the writer Blake Neff responded to a thread started by another user in 2018 with the subject line, "Would you let a jet black Congo nigger do LASIK eye surgery on you for 50% off?" Neff wrote, "I wouldn't get LASIK from an Asian for free, so no." Now, this is from one of the stories that was done on Neff. Now, here's what's interesting. Neff worked on the show for more than 3 years. Last night, Tucker Carlson addressed the situation. Check it out.
Over the weekend, you may have seen stories about a writer on this show called Blake Neff. For years, since he was in college, Blake posted anonymously on an internet message board for law school students. On Friday, many of those posts became public. Blake was horrified by the story, and he was ashamed. Friday afternoon, he resigned from his job. We want to say a couple of things about this. First, what Blake wrote anonymously was wrong. We don't endorse those words. They have no connection to the show. It is wrong to attack people for qualities they cannot control. In this country, we judge people for what they do, not for how they were born. We often say that because we mean it. We'll continue to defend that principle, often alone among national news programs, because it is essential. Nothing is more important. Blake fell short of that standard, and he has paid a very heavy price for it. But we should also point out to the ghouls now beating their chests in triumph at the destruction of a young man that self-righteousness also has its costs. We are all human. When we pretend we are holy, we are lying. When we pose as blameless in order to hurt other people, we are committing the gravest sin of all, and we will be punished for it. There's no question.
I'm going to roll that back. And I want you to, we're going to break this thing down. Press play.
Over the weekend, you may have seen stories about a writer on this show called Blake Neff. For years, since he was in college, Blake posted anonymously on an internet message board for law school students.
Right there. He first says a writer on this show. No, he was the top writer on this show. What Tucker Carlson also did not state is that Blake Neff worked for Tucker Carlson at Tucker's website, The Daily Caller. Neff followed Carlson over to his Fox News show. So he's not simply a writer. He's somebody who has had a long-time relationship with Tucker Carlson. Neff has previously given interviews where he said that the words that come out of his mouth are written by Neff. You also said that he's posted these things since he was in college. Go back to the graphic. The story that was done, this is done by Oliver Darcy, I think was at CNN. I think it's where this came from. It said, just this week, the writer Blake Neff responded. So Neff was writing racist comments the same week he was busted. Go ahead and press play, please.
On Friday, many of those posts became public. Blake was horrified by the story, and he was ashamed. Friday afternoon, he resigned from his job.
Stop right there. Was Neff horrified that he got busted? Was Neff horrified that his racist comments actually are now public? Watch this. Press play.
I want to say a couple of things about this. First, what Blake wrote anonymously was wrong. We don't endorse those words. They have no connection to the show. It is wrong to attack people for qualities they cannot control. In this country, we judge people for what they do, not for how they were born. We often say that because we mean it. will continue to defend that principle, often alone among national news programs, because it is essential. Nothing is more important.
Come back.
Blake fell short of that standard.
The words were wrong. The words were wrong. He didn't say hateful. He didn't say racist. He didn't say they were uncalled for. All the words were wrong. They fall short. Okay, go ahead and press play.
And he has paid a very heavy price for it. But we should also point out to the ghouls now beating their chests in triumph at the destruction of a young man.
Stop right there.
That self-righteous.
Oh, the destruction of a young man. Listen to poor little Tucker, the destruction of a young man and these things and what's so unfortunate and how his life has just been ruined. Y'all, he has been consistently writing racist things. And he's only unemployed today because he was busted. If he had not been busted, Blake Neff, the racist, would continue to be writing those things and will continue to be the top writer for Tucker Carlson at Fox News. Now, this part of the commentary is when Tucker enters into this condemnation of the individuals who busted him and are blasting his racist comments. Go ahead and press play.
Righteousness also has its costs. We are all human. When we pretend we are holy, we are lying. When we pose as blameless in order to hurt other people, we are committing the gravest sin of all, and we will be punished for it. There's no question.
No, we're all humans, and these things these things happen. Did y'all get a sense of just how nice and easy going Tucker sounded over the racist rants of his top writer? The same Blake Neff who worked with him in the Daily Caller, which he never mentioned. I mean, I found that to be very interesting. Jason, you've appeared on Tucker Carlson's show. And I just find it, did you find it fascinating how it was just so nice and fluffy and the destruction of this young man and, well, those words were wrong and, and these are the things, but it's, we're human and we're not holier than thou.
Yeah. It's clear that no one destroyed Blake Neff other than Blake Neff. He's the person who is responsible. And when you try to pawn off what other people, pawn off your responsibility on other people and say, well, it's these people who are beating their chest, they want to tear us apart, whatever it is. I think that's a big failure right there. He needs to acknowledge that Blake Neff is the person who's responsible for Blake Neff's words. Now, I'll also say that, I know Blake, and I would say that though he was always polite to me, I'm not surprised, that he said these things. I'm not surprised that he was writing these things. The only thing that I don't understand is why he felt the need to do it anonymously when he writes, things about immigrants and about other kinds of people all the time, for people to say. So it was disappointing that he didn't have the guts to at least do it, that he did it anonymously when he does it for a living in many ways.
But here's the other deal. I'm sorry, have any of y'all actually seen, I mean, you said you know him. Have you actually seen an apology from Blake Neff?
No, I haven't heard anything from Blake.
Hello?
Neff.
See, right there, Kelly, that says it all. The fact that you got busted, Blake Neff, you got fired, but you ain't said nothing. Now, Fox has condemned the comments, and Tucker has said, they're wrong, and, we're all human, and, a young man's been destroyed. No, because I guarantee you, in the whole conservative ecosystem, there's going to be a job for Blake Neff.
I wouldn't be surprised if he already got hired. Like, he's probably working right now. But a couple points on this. It it is upsetting to me, but also pretty obvious to me just how much power someone like him has. And it's not all that obvious for a lot of people, but the fact that he went to law school, that is very concerning to me, because I don't know whether he graduated or is barred or whatever. But the fact that you have knowledge, like very acute, very comprehensive knowledge of law and order and civil rights, human rights, and you still have this kind of rhetoric and mentality in you, that is troubling. We don't know how that has impacted many, many people. I mean, God forbid he actually practiced law, but let's just say he didn't practice law at all. He's still a journalist, which is even more dangerous in some respects, because he's writing not only on behalf of himself by being anonymous in these forums, but he's writing on behalf of Tucker Carlson, in that all of his rhetoric, and Tucker admitted, is coming from this man. So he's thoroughly racist. And I understand, Jason, when you said like he was always polite to you. I haven't met a rude racist personally. You know, like, I mean, I've seen your page. Yeah, you definitely have. But as far as you know, someone in my face being racist, I've yet to meet one who is blatantly rude. And especially if you are in the DMV area, such as myself and you, Jason, I am not hard pressed to find a polite racist. So that part is null and void to me. He's racist. He didn't want his name out there because he's probably in this area and he has a lot of Black friends or whatever, and he didn't want that side of him coming out from beneath the shadows, so he decided to live in them. So
Julian,
everything about this is troubling to me, but I'm not surprised at the trajectory of this situation.
Look, Julian, here's the deal. There was a woman who worked at Breitbart who talked about that she said she was a white supremacist, and that Stephen Miller, who is now one of Trump's top advisors, frequently would call them with stories and pictures and things along those lines. And Breitbart said that they were the home of the alt-right, and then they were appealing to those racists. That's what you're dealing with. You've had in these conservative outlets numerous individuals who have been exposed as racist.
Because they are. And, you know, the whole thing with this, Tucker Carlson and his non-apology is absurd, because he read some of this stuff. Some of those tweets of the posts that man put up were reflected in Tucker's words. If Tucker were really woke, he would have looked at some of these words. You have people writing for you sometimes, Roland. If someone says something, write something you don't want to say, you don't say it.
Nope.
You know, and here, Tucker wanted to say it. So the reason why he had a non-apology is because he was complicit in this nonsense with the anti-immigrant, other anti-Black, and other kinds of remarks. This guy, racist is the nicest thing we could say about that. He's not only a racist, but he's a puppet master racist. And Tucker Carlson was his puppet.
Well, I mean, this is again the kind of nonsense that you're dealing with, and you know, look, it's classic Fox News, and this whole deal of like we don't want to really sit here and address the issue, and then Tucker says, hey, he was going on a already scheduled fishing trip or whatever the hell he's doing, and that kind of different thing like that. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, Ceek is a Black-owned company founded by Mary Spiel, a sister from Ghana. She is, of course, the inventor of these two devices here. One of them is a virtual reality headset, which basically allows for you to pop your phone, your Android or your Apple phone, right into here. and allows you to see the content on their website, Ceek.com, in virtual reality. You also can look at other videos on YouTube that are 360-degree videos. And so this headset is available on the website. Also, their headphones, these 360-degree 4D headphones right here, which also comes with the wired cable, also microphone jack as well. You got Bluetooth. You can use this for gaming if you want to, music, videos, you name it. Fantastic sound as well. A sister, she sent me a tweet. She said, why didn't I tell her about the bass in these headphones? Because she said that she has a bass head in her house. And so her son decided to grab her headphones. I said, no, boo, tell your son to go buy his own. If you want to get these products, again, supporting Black-owned businesses that support this show, go to Ceek.com. Use this promo code RM. You see it right here, RMVIP 2020, RMVIP 2020. And so when you buy their products, you also are supporting Roland Martin Unfiltered. So we certainly appreciate that with the folks at Ceek.com, Ceek.com.